Well, Gav, how's it going?
All right, Rob, how's things?
Not too bad. A big thank you, lad, for getting me these two CDs the other week.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
You were on your travels up in the northwest of Ireland, were you?
I'm up there nearly twice a week, but yeah, I stop in regular to the boys up in Universal Bookshop in Letterkenny, and I was having a ramble around, and I knew you had an extensive CD collection, so I just had a nosy for one CD that you were short that you had mentioned before on some of our chats. So I was having a flick through, and I came across them too, and I just said, Rob may enjoy them. They were cheap and cheerful, so I just picked them up for you. Glad you enjoyed them.
Fair play. Yeah, I've been listening to them over the last few days, so I'll just give a quick rundown on them there.
Yeah.
So the first one here is it's John Mayall and the Blues Breakers. So it's actually a double album. So the first disc is in the studio, and the album is called Chicago Line, and that was recorded in Germany in 1988. And then the second disc is actually a live concert,
Oh, nice.
and that one was also recorded in Germany, but that was from 1987, and that one's called The Power of the Blues. So, yeah, phenomenal stuff by John Mayall on these two albums, I have to say. So it's a different band to what he had from what most people would have known as the classic Mayall Blues Breakers lineup, which was Eric Clapton on guitar, John McVie on bass, and Huey Flint on drums. So he had a lot of different lineup changes through his career. Peter Green was in the band for a little while before he went on to form Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
And then Mick Taylor as well from the Rolling Stones, he did an album with him as well. But
Right.
I have to say, the two guitar players on this one of them's called Walter Trout, and the other one is Coco Montoya.
Yeah, you're telling me, yeah.
Oh, unbelievable guitar players. I swear to God, they completely rip it up here. Brilliant. Like right, they're nowhere Clapton, but I'll tell you what, they're not far away.
And what kind of a career did they have? Did you look them up or?
I haven't done a deep dive on the lads yet.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know, was this a stepping stone album that they did this and then they went on to bigger things, or were
Yeah.
they kind of
Session by.
coming session lads? Yeah, because I'm just opening it up here. They look they looked at a few miles on the clock there. I don't know if you can see that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, they don't look like spring chickens. So they could have been journeymen that were in like blues rock bands,
Yeah.
and then sort of joined up with John Mayall. But I really enjoyed the live album now because they actually introduced them from Los Angeles. And
Right.
if you look on the front there, John Mayall, right, he's playing the harmonica. He's got a tan there on the arms, and
Yeah.
he's got a mullet going on there.
Looks like a
So
bike Florida or something.
yeah, it looks like he's getting a lot of sun. It doesn't look like he was in Hertfordshire. Anyway, so yeah, and it sounds like the band was American, as well. So that was probably the vibe he was going for at the time. But yeah, he introduces the guys on the live album, and he does, All Your Love. They do a version of that. It Ain't Right. So a lot of stuff from the early stuff, the early albums. But they play a song at the end called "Room to Move." Okay, and there's a section of the song where the band break down, and then the two guitars start playing the riff from Layla as a kind of
Oh,
tribute to Eric Clapton,
right.
and they just go at that for like a minute, and then they come back out into something else. But
So
top notch.
what year was that recorded?
So that
You
was 87 for the live album
oh,
and
okay.
88 for the studio.
Well after. Okay, okay.
So it was well after, yeah. But yeah, no, I was really impressed with this. I'll be listening to this one again. And
Good
as
to
you
hear.
say, those two guitar players, I'd never heard of them before and just stumbled upon them. And now I'll be doing a deep dive to see what they're like.
Yeah, it's crazy how some of them session boys like what's the guy's name up the north? McCullough.
Henry McCullough.
Yeah, like he went on to play with Wings, I believe, and the only
Yeah,
Irishman to play in Woodstock and stuff like that. But like again,
yeah,
mightn't be that well known, even though we played with Wings and stuff like that. And
yeah,
it's some of these hidden gems that blow your mind. You're like, how did you not make it? And no, and it's like that saying that always people always say is like sometimes you need a bit of luck to break or to get that invitation to go with another band and just keep
yeah.
progressing. Even though Mayall obviously was big at the time, but it's just crazy how things go in the music world.
It's it's mad. It's mad. And then the second album you got me was this one here. So this is Ian Gillan Rock Profile.
Yes.
So I'm about just over halfway through this at the minute. And basically, it's a best of Ian Gillan. So it takes stuff from his band that he was in before Deep Purple. So a band called Episode 6 and another band called Javelins. There's a couple of hits from them guys.
Okay.
And then what really blew me away, there's a live version of Strange Kind of Woman. Obviously a Deep Purple song. So I did a bit of research, and this live version is actually from Made in Japan by Deep Purple. Now I've heard unbelievable things about that album.
Yes.
Um,
So right.
but I don't have it, and I've never listened to it the whole way through. So listening to this track, it's an extended version of the song,
Right.
but what they do is, and I've never heard a band do this so well. So Richie Blackmore is the guitar player, Ian Gillan is the vocalist. So Richie at that song kind of breaks down into a bit of a jam,
Mm-hmm.
and then like Richie will play like a lick on the guitar, and Ian Gillan will match it like pitch perfect. So they're kind of
Wow.
playing off each other.
Class.
And then so that's easy enough to do because generally people are very in control of their voice and they just listen to the note and reproduce it without doing much thinking. But then Ian Gillan starts sort of singing off licks,
Yeah.
and Richie Blackmore has to copy him on the guitar. And I can tell you, as a guitar player, you have to be really, really accomplished to pick up the notes from someone's voice. But these two guys were two of the best
Wow.
musicians in rock music because you could see how good a singer Ian Gillan was, but also how good a guitar player Richie Blackmore was. And that blew my mind. So Made in Japan is on my list now. I have to pick that album up in the next
Yeah.
few weeks.
I have heard, isn't that's the most kind of iconic live album, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah. It
for
was you.
sure.
It was you that got me back into Deep Purple, to be honest. And that Machine Head album and that's brilliant stuff, like
Yeah.
brilliant, brilliant stuff.
And then there was an Easter egg. So in the Ian Gillan album,
That's right.
there
He
was
did tell me that. Yeah.
did he say that? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a live album by a band called Portishead. So they're actually a band that's on my list to get into.
No
They're
way.
like a progressive rock band from I don't know from South Wales or around Bristol or somewhere around that neck of the woods. I think they're from. But yeah, they're on my list to get into. So
That's
thanks
cool.
very much for that. I didn't know whether that was a mistake or an Easter
Yeah.
egg or
He
what
opened
it
it up.
was.
And funny, I think he used the same word. He's like, he opened it up and he's like, uh, I think it was like €5 or €6 was on the CD, and he opened it. He's like, "Well, there's an extra CD in here, so that means that CD is free." So, so he did give it. So, big shout out to the boys up in Letterkenny. They have a great Facebook page. Check them out. To be updating stuff hourly, and they can do shipping all across Ireland and England. So
Brilliant,
cool,
brilliant.
cool stuff.
So I'll have to return the favor now.
Ah, no, no, look, just it was a sport of moment thing. Sport of moment.
Do you have a CD player set up there at the minute?
I don't. It's been a
You don't,
long
right?
time.
Okay.
It's a long time. I'm at the early stages of the vinyl. I've started since Christmas, so um,
Yeah.
I picked up a
There's a few Gary Moore albums coming my way from Denmark and Germany,
right.
and one of them is a compilation of Gary Moore albums. And so the first one I was getting John McLaughlin. I don't know if you ever hear him. Fantastic jazz fusion guitarist. So I was getting a collection of his albums, and I had to get over a certain price or they wouldn't ship.
Yeah,
So I had to get two Gary Moore albums. And then I was like, oh, I need to get a lot more Gary Moore. And then I saw a box set of Gary Moore from Germany. And the two albums that are in the box set, I actually already have coming from Denmark. So I'm going
nice,
to end up with another version of, I think it's After Hours and Blues for Greenie. I'll have
nice,
two versions of those albums. So
nice, nice, nice,
if you
nice.
get a CD player,
Yeah,
I'll ship a few up your way.
fair play, fair play. Um, yeah. So I came across a few vinyls too in the last week. If you want to chat about them, um,
Absolutely.
so I picked up this. It's a bootleg, a Metallica, Back to the Studio.
Brilliant. Look at that.
Yeah. So
Class.
this has some very interesting demos on it. I don't know if you can see that. Uh,
Yeah. What we got? Fight for Fire.
yeah,
Yeah. When Hell Freezes Over.
yeah, Call of Cthulhu.
Oh, very good. Very
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Blitzkrieg, very good. Ride the Lightning, Fight Forward Fire again, is it?
yeah. There's a couple of different versions.
And Am I Evil?
Yeah, Am I Evil? So there's some recordings
Brilliant.
from October '83 in San Francisco. So that would have been Um, what was that? That must have been before they came back from Scandinavia or after. Maybe they were just doing some finishing touches. I'm not sure, but it's very interesting. Like they have the bones of some of the songs. You can see some of them's coming towards the end of it, and some of them are just being finished. But the Fight Fire with Fire is brilliant, and the Ride the Lightning is pretty much finished. It's just kind of a playthrough, but it's like a live version of them playing.
Brilliant.
I believe this is like a. It is obviously a bootleg, but I think it came on the box set with some of the Ride the Lightning stuff.
Yeah, okay.
So very interesting. And you know, when you see the pictures, like look how young they were. Do you know?
That's unreal, yeah.
They're only kids, like, and Cliff there and all. It's actually a nice vinyl. I won't bother taking it out. It's kind of marble colored, but interesting
Lovely.
find. It was cheap and cheerful. Came across it again up in Letterkenny with the boys. Um,
Brilliant.
so I came across that. Interesting. I'll chat about this one real quick. Now we did do a review on the podcast about this album, a Leonard Skinner one.
Yes, I heard your review and it's on my list. I have to listen to it.
Oh Jesus, it
Yeah,
is.
brilliant review.
It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. This album, this record. So
Lovely. Look at that.
there's so much detail, so much detail. Um, it's very trippy. It's so much, I just, again, I went into the record shop and
Mm,
I kind of know the guys now. Oh well, Gavin, you're back. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have a nosy around, and he literally just goes, "Gavin, take that." I'm like, "What's that?" Leonard Skinner. Yeah, I like Leonard Skinner. All I really knew was the hits, to be perfectly honest.
mm.
And he put it on in the shop, and I'm like, he goes, just listen. So I'm like, oh shit, that guitar, holy wow, the sound of the drums on this is unbelievable. He's like, that's an original press. I'm like, what? He goes, give me €20 for it. I'm like, yeah, no bother. So straight home, stuck it on, unbelievable. It's definitely in my top 10 live albums.
Wow.
Definitely.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah, it's straight
Yeah,
away. Now, like I we all know I think Freeboard, there's a version on this. I think they play it for 14 minutes.
wow. Yeah,
Steve Gaines is his first appearance with the band at this show in Georgia.
yeah,
It was like a 3 night thing to save a venue in Georgia. Um, I Ain't the One. Tuesday's Gone, of course. Saturday Night Special is a great wee song as well.
brilliant song.
Uh,
Brilliant song.
again, like anti-gun song, like you wouldn't think with these boys. Uh,
Yeah,
the Whiskey Rock and Roller, such a cool song. Like he comes, and one thing about this album is like they leave all the nuts and bolts in. We'll say, like things go wrong, keyboards break, and he's interacting with the fans, and he's saying, come on, I need some more out of you. Oh, we're only getting warmed up, and talking, and you can hear people in the background shuffling around. It's so good. But T for Texas, which I believe is a cover, it's an old 20s song. Uh,
yeah.
Fantastic. Call Me the Breeze, another brilliant song. There was one song that I wanted to mention was what was it? Not Tuesday's Gone. Traveling Man, I think it was, yeah. But it's just good, honest guitar. Um,
Yeah.
you know, you have
It's a double album, is it? So it's two vinyl.
it's two vinyls, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Ronnie Van Zant, Alan Collins, Gary Rossington, Billy Powell, Leon Wilkinson on bass, Artemis Pyle on drums, and Steve Gaines on guitar, and Cassie Gaines is back up, and of course,
yeah.
the,
Sister,
the-
isn't it?
yeah, that was the sister that passed away in the plane crash as well with Steve
Yeah.
and with Ronnie. But an absolutely brilliant album. If you're looking for something to spin in the next few days, throw that on. It's a
And that was before their big breakthrough album. Was it pronounced Leonard Skinner? Is that the one with Sweet Home Alabama on it?
I think it was out. This was 19. What year was this? Jesus, 76.
76. Okay.
I think Freeboard was out. There's a great liner note here. I won't read it out because it's very long. It's from
Yeah.
Rolling Stone that give a review on the album. It's absolutely brilliant.
I must get I
It's
must listen to it on Spotify and then
Oh, it's so
Yeah, I'd probably pick it up if it's as good as you're saying.
it's very good, yeah. And then
Um, cool.
I was away 2 weekends ago. I was up the north in Newcastle, and
Yeah,
we got an Airbnb, and we're walking around Newcastle, and I happened to walk into like an antique shop randomly. Me and
yeah.
my wife, and she pointed. She goes, "Look, there's vinyl." I'm like, "Oh, nice." Well, I was like, "I'll go over here." So I'm flicking through, and I see this. Um,
Live Cream Volume 2.
yeah, yeah,
Wow, look at that.
original. Like,
Is that a picture or a photograph or a painting on the front?
I believe it's a photograph, just
Looks very cool.
distorted.
Yeah,
Um,
that's so cool.
and the back is
There's the lads, yeah.
yeah. Now, I'll hold my hands up. This is some of his first stuff that I've ever listened to with Cream, and
Yeah,
it blew me away.
yeah.
Um, like side two, "Sunshine of Your Love" and
Oh yeah.
"Stepping Out." Side one then is "Deserted Cities of the Heart." Two, track two is "White Room." Three,
Love it.
yeah,
White Room's a great tune.
oh
Great tune.
my God.
Guitar solo in White Room
Ah,
is
forget about it. Unbelievable.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
The speed and precision of him is unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah. Politician and
Yeah.
Tales of the Brave Ulysses.
Oh yeah, that's so trippy that track. It's like a Jimi Hendrix or something, isn't it? Or
Yeah,
the Doors.
Stepping Out absolutely blew my mind.
Yeah, yeah. The
The
John
guitar,
Mayall sessions, wasn't it?
yeah,
Originally.
the guitar in it is just fantastic.
Mm.
Um, so it was recorded live. Yeah, does it say? Of course, Eric Clapton, Jack Bruce, and Ginger Baker. Doesn't actually say where it was recorded from, but the it's another fucking original. And you know,
Yeah.
I tell you how much I paid for it.
Go on.
£8.
That's unbelievable.
It was closing down the antique shop.
£8. What a steal.
Yeah, it's like it's everything is original, like the inlay slip,
Yeah.
see like the aging on it, and it's a poly door.
Oh,
Uh,
it's Polydor.
yeah,
Very good.
yeah, it's a poly
Yeah,
door.
because they signed with Atlantic in the US, was a Polydor in the UK,
Yeah,
I think.
it's a poly door. I don't know if the serial number, if you can see that.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. The minute I came home on Sunday and I threw it straight in, and I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
so good. So yeah, that was a little kind of collection that I've gathered up in the last couple of weeks. Now there was a few other ones too. I must go through them maybe another night. But
Brilliant.
I'm
Your
loving.
collection is growing nicely, Gav.
No, don't tell me wife that.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah, so
you're getting you're getting stuff you want and stuff you like. So that's the
yeah,
main thing. You're not getting a bulk load of stuff that you wouldn't listen to.
no,
You're really absorbing it, each
yeah,
album.
oh yeah, and I have a nice little collection coming in the summer that I've my relatives in America have kindly received for me on eBay that they're going to be coming to Ireland over the summer, so I can't wait.
Brilliant.
We'll keep that locked up, but there's some gems coming in the summer.
Brilliant. We'll have to do an extended episode for that one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's the crack.
Great stuff. Well, look, we'll be in touch shortly, no doubt.
Yes, yes, we'll be chatting soon.
Defo. Okay, I'll chat to you next one. Take it
All
easy.
right. Thanks, Rob.